kindly yeah, there you go. Thank you, Zoom Master. I would also request all of the Toastmasters and the guests here to kindly keep yourself on mute throughout the meeting, unless and until when you are asked to speak. Please keep your videos on unless and until you are busy with something that's going on in the background, because of which it might be better that you put your video off. With this, I would now like to give the platform to the presiding officer of our meeting, Toastmaster Sai, who is an entrepreneur by profession, a speaker by passion, and the president by force of this club. Over to you, Toastmaster Sai.
Thank you very much. We were seeing a beautiful window looking out into the sea. And instead of that, I thought we put the window on me and make you look at the sky, not the sea. My name is amazing. I can make so many jokes with the name. Welcome everyone to meeting number 117 of BKC Fireflies. There was a slight hiccup because our SA was new to the job and there was one step missed in the opening of the meeting, which is to state the mission of a Toastmasters Club, which is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. I'm sure the next time it rolls around, the Sunday has to be the SA, she'll remember this one thing, that the mission of the club mission is part of the opening remarks of the Sergeant's Downs. Other than that, great job, Sandhya. Great job, Sandhya. Thank you for stepping in at the last minute and doing a great job introducing and keeping the energy up for all of us. Meeting number 117 promises to be as good or better than meeting number 116, which is the promise of BKC Fireflies. We are always at or a little bit above our best. We call ourselves the small wonder of Toastmaster of at least Mumbai. I don't know about small clubs outside Mumbai, but we're the small wonder of Mumbai Toastmasters clubs. We're small, we pack a punch, and that's what makes us special. And that's what makes Toastmasters such a great place to be. You can online Toastmasters meeting, at least you can visit anyone you want, any club you want, learn from your peers, learn from your betters, learn from people who are around you, and that makes you a better speaker as well. This past week has been a bit of a learning curve for all of us in the XCOM. Some of us attended the executive committee training last weekend in BKC, which was the home of BKC Fireflies. We had people from Gujarat coming, we had people from all over Mumbai attending that training session in BKC. It was a great place to meet and greet and network and make friends. We already have a WhatsApp group created. That's the biggest proof that you had fun at an event. If a WhatsApp group gets created of people who want to stay in touch with each other at the end of an event, that means the event has gone off well. And that's what it was. It was a great place to learn, a great place to meet, a great place to have chai and vada pav, which is a Bombay specialty. Yes, what else do we have to talk about? I want to talk about one specific individual from the world of science who made a big impression on me this past few weeks. His name is Amir Sharif. I'm sure nobody's heard of him. Person from science, you expect Einstein and people like that. But in this case, it is a young sophomore from Harvard. Second year. Sophomore is the second year of your college degree. You have a 4-year degree. Somebody in the second year is called a sophomore. And as a sophomore, this kid looked at data, did some data analysis, and discovered that a meteor which had entered into the Earth's atmosphere and had fallen in the Pacific Ocean was of interstellar origin, which means this meteor didn't come from within the solar system, it came from outside. And he is the youngest and the most, nobody does this kind of research, but he was able to find it. He was able to convince the people at Harvard, his professors at Harvard, who were guiding his PhD, to fund a search party which went out all the way somewhere in Australia, off the coast of Australia, to look for that meteor. And the word on the street is that they found metal traces of elements and things we don't find on Earth in any quantity. And they're almost convinced that this is interstellar. It's come from outside the solar system. Can you imagine a piece of material started its journey millions and millions of years ago? It somehow found its way to our solar system, crossed all those big planets, reached Earth. Earth made a rendezvous with that planet, that piece of material. It burnt through the atmosphere. It was tracked by radar. People saw it fall into the Pacific Ocean. near Australia, not on land, in Australia, somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. And then this kid who was born 18 years ago, 19 years ago, took it upon himself to research and find. And that is what the power of science is. You can find magic if you are keeping your eyes open for it. And that's what I want to take all of us to take away, that there is magic all around us. There is great things happening all around us. If you ignore the noise and the craziness of day-to-day life, magic is here. It's for you to go find and seek for yourself. What else what else happened last week? At the executive committee training, I discovered that we have a little bit of the cost of magic is going up. Let's put it like that. And what is the cost of magic? Toastmasters is magic. It's a great place to learn how to be a better speaker, better communicator, better leader, how to improve yourself, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, what they say. It's that. But the cost of that, not that magic to come into your life, has gone up by a little bit. Toastmasters International is increasing the cost of membership by $15. So what used to be $45 every 6 months has now become $60 every 6 months. And this cost is going to go up from August 1st. But they've given you a little bit of a window. If you sign up and extend your membership by another 6 months or 1 year, whatever you want, before the end of July, before July 31st, on or before July 31st, you will still be paying the $45 cost. So you can defer that cost increase by another 1 year if you re-up your membership and sign up until the end of 2024. Those kind of things can be done. But again, the cost of magic is only $15 more because of this price hike. The magic still remains, the magic of becoming better speakers, the magic of being more confident in front of your peers and your team. That magic is still there for you to take. And that's what Toastmasters is all about. There's one more thing that happened last week, or let's call it the last 10 days. I got a chance to watch a panel discussion. And the panel discussion was mesmerizing. I mean, there were people from, I think, 4 completely different professions. There were people with, one of the people on the panel seemed to be a philosopher. He was a teacher, but he also seemed to be a pretty deep thinker and a philosopher. Then we had a few women on the panel who were talking about how difficult some things are as a woman, how some things work better when you're a woman. It was a panel on influencing and not enforcing, but using the power at your disposal to influence the course of events. And that panel was moderated by this guy. He was amazing. There you go. That's what I liked about our friend Aditya Balya, who was the moderator of that panel. And I thought to myself, if BKC Fireflies calls itself a small wonder, if we believe that we attract quality attendees, participants, speakers, we also need to have an equally amazing Toastmaster of the Day, which is why I begged and pleaded, and finally Aditya relented to be the Toastmaster of the Day today. And he is going to take charge of this meeting to go forward. Yes, I haven't spoken to all the guests, and that will happen after the meeting is over, because I want to make sure that the meeting starts off, and because we have a lot of speakers who are going to take up a little bit of time. So without more drama from my side, let me hand over the charge of the meeting to the man who will give you magic by way of his words as the Toastmaster of the Day. Aditya, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai. You call this club a small wonder. I doubt it. The introduction was not small. Your charisma was not small. Your love for your guests is not small. Everything seems huge here. And I'm hugely overwhelmed right now. Let's see what's going to happen. Hi, everyone. I'm Aditya, a traveling Toastmaster at this club today. It feels very special for me. I am the Toastmaster of the Day. Every Toastmaster meeting is consisting of 3 segments. The first segment is the prepared speeches segment, where we have veterans, novices, rookies come together and deliver their speeches, which is a part of their project pathways. The second segment is a table topic segments, which is open for members as well as guests. The third segment is my favorite segment, the Breakfast of Champions, where every role, every table topic, every speech gets evaluated by a dedicated team of evaluators. So we have big things coming up, and I have big responsibilities on my shoulder. Today's theme. Do you want to guess what today's theme is? I'm sure it's not difficult. Anyone? What's the theme for the day? Toastmaster Shweta. Yeah. Would you like to tell us what the theme for the day is?
Finding your Ikigai.
Finding your Ikigai.
Absolutely. Yes. The theme for the day is finding your Ikigai. Now tell me, how many of you have read this book, Ikigai by Hector Garcia? How many of you? Okay, I see a good raise of hands. How many of you fairly know what Ikigai means, but you haven't read the book? Well, yeah, we have Sai. We have anyone else? Yes, we have Cyril as well. Anyone else? Okay. How many of you have no idea what Ikigai is? I don't know what it means. I'm here to explore and know from you what Ikigai means. Anyone? So this TMOD session is going to cover all these three segments. So irrespective of whether you know what Ikigai is, whether you have discovered your Ikigai or not, I'm sure you will find this session very useful. Because I'm not only going to talk about Ikigai, I'm also going to guide you how to find your Ikigai. And if you have found your Ikigai, I'm also going to tell you whether the Ikigai is right or not. Okay, to begin with, can someone tell me what Ikigai means? And this is the first segment of people who have read the book, all those front benchers out there. Yeah, let the chaos begin. You have read the pre-reads, I must believe. Now tell me what Ikigai means.
Ikigai is the passion or something you like. You try to find that passion of your life.
Passion for life. I'm glad you didn't give me the textbook definition, but I'll take it. Anyone else? What do you mean by Ikigai? What do you understand by Ikigai? Toastmaster Sai.
Man, I was going to say the same thing Mahesh did. So,
Okay. Would you like to
passion.
rephrase it like you always do it in a more effective, profound way?
Let me see what I put in my Toastmaster message. I think
He's
that should do it.
definitely not a front bencher. I know you, Toastmaster Shah. Yeah. Kalpana, what do you mean by Ikigai?
So if you ask me, I will say Ikigai is something that you look up to, something you look forward to, something you are excited every day to work on, to work with, or work around with. That's what I have understood. It's like a set of things.
Topper of the class, ladies and gentlemen, please take note. Well, let me tell you, because it is the teacher's responsibility to clarify the definition. Ikigai is an intersection of four elements. And let me tell you what these four elements are. What I love to do, number one. What I am good at, element number two. What the world needs from me, element number three. And finally, what I can be rewarded for. Let me repeat it again. What I love to do, what I am good at, what the world needs from me, and what I can be rewarded for. Let me give you an example. For example, Toastmaster Sai, he loves crosswords. Okay. He loves crosswords. He is an absolute pro at solving crosswords. But will crosswords fetch him money? No. So we can't really tell that Ikigai is solving crosswords. Similarly, if someone is good at cooking, but someone doesn't enjoy cooking, like my girlfriend or my mother at home, she does good food, but she doesn't love the process. So probably cooking is not an Ikigai. So Ikigai combines all these four elements together so that you find the purpose of your life. That's what the Japanese say. It is the purpose of your life. It is the action that you take in pursuit of your happiness. Let me confuse you even more by showing you the picture of an Ikigai. This is how an Ikigai looks. I'm sure it is very complicated. So just watch this diagram very well. What you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. Where these four elements meet, that's where you find your Ikigai. That is where the purpose of life begins. But how do you find the Ikigai? Before that, it's time for me to introduce the role player of today's meeting, who are the elements that are going to converge, who are going to amalgamate and bring the Ikigai for today's meeting. Please help me welcome the timer of today's meeting. The timer of today's meeting is a Toastmaster I absolutely adore. I have been loving his work very secretly, and very recently I got an opportunity to confess that I love his evaluation. He was also my co-contender in Eloquence 2023 in evaluation contest, and I absolutely loved his rendition. Please help me welcome the timer of today's meeting, Toastmaster Sai. Over to you.
Thank you very, very much, Toastmaster Aditya. The role of the timer is to keep track of the meeting overall, to make sure it starts and ends on time, and also to keep track of individual speakers and evaluators within the meeting. Mostly you'll see, I'll be sharing a tool called, I'll be sharing my screen and tracking time that way for all the speakers. You will see that the screen becomes green when you've hit the minimum qualifying time for your speech. It turns yellow at the middle time because you have a limited amount of time in which to deliver your speech. It turns yellow when you hit the middle, and then it turns red when you finished, you exhausted available time. Plus, there's a little bit of a buffer on top, which is usually 30 seconds. So those things will be happening. I'll be sharing my screen, and if you, we will discuss it. We will do it again when you're ready to give your speeches. Back to you, Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai. How many of you know what a Udly means? Okay, Udly is a software by Toastmaster that can help you give real-time feedback as you deliver a speech. The R counter at today's meeting, I'm sure, is 10 times more efficient and effective than a Udly. Please help me welcome the R counter of today's meeting, Toastmaster Melvin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. Good evening, everyone. I am Melvin Mendonca. And on this rainy, cloudy day, I'll be keeping all the track of all the potholes and the speed bumps and everything. So please be careful with all your R's, O's, and whatever you do as a part of this or when you give your speech. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. That sounded very scandalous. Anyway, moving to the third role player of the day, please help me welcome the grammarian of today's meeting. The grammarian of today's meeting is an engineer by education. She is currently working as a therapist and yoga trainer. Please help me welcome Madam Grammarian of today's meeting, Toastmaster Shweta.
Yeah, good evening all, Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So to become an efficient speaker, you develop a strong vocabulary and ensure an effective usage of English. So as a grammarian and word master, I shall be note down the good usage and not so good usage of the English language by different speakers and submit my report whenever I called upon. So further, I shall also share the word of the day, and word of the day is righteous, which means that you think morally good. One example, he can't escape from it, although he expressed it in the form of righteous integration. One grammar tip I would also like to share, that I and me aren't interchangeable. Many times while speaking, we change I and me. So try avoiding that. And I request all the role players to use word of the day as many as times they can. And we can give thumbs up whenever the word of day is used. And I shall be back with my report at the end of the session whenever TMOD calls me. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Grammarian, for very effectively describing your role. Before we move on to the prepared speeches, let me also imitate the grammarian and give you a tip for the day. A tip for you to find the Ikigai. So you saw a diagram where we saw 4 elements converging to form the Ikigai. Your job, but to find the Ikigai can be possible when you start filling those bubbles. And how can you fill those bubbles? By journaling. Every day, every time, you find something, any example, any instance that answers these questions. what you love, what you're good at, what can pay you, and what the world needs from you, make sure you note it down. I'm sure you'll be able to fill multiple bubbles, and you'll also eventually see these bubbles converging. You will see a pattern among all these answers, and at some point, all your answers will converge at one particular theme. And that theme is your Ikigai. It's time for me now to open the prepared speeches segment, because it is where we are going to listen to some veteran speeches, at the same time, some new, fresh perspectives. Please help me welcome the first speaker of the day. The first speaker of the day is an undergraduate student of psychology. She is currently, in her words, she is currently building a blog, building a mental health intervention, and also a chaotic hairstyle. I don't think so. I like it. But before I invite the speaker of the day, please help me welcome the evaluator of Toastmaster Shrihita, Toastmaster Pranav, to brief the project objectives.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Aditya. The objective of Toastmaster Shrihita's speech is for her to present a speech on any topic and receive feedback and apply the feedback on a second speech. Best of luck, Toastmaster Shrihita. And timer, please note that the timing guidelines for her speech are 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. Toastmaster Shrihita, the voice, Toastmaster Shrihita.
I first became interested in boys in grade 7. No, not the kind of interested you guys are assuming, but a different kind of interested. I once saw a boy crying in class as his fellow classmates were picking on him because his scores were low. And I thought, what nonsense. Of course he'll cry. One, his scores are low. And second, they're ruining his head. Whew. But what I also realized was that boys grow up into men in a world that is emotionally distant, harsh, and abusive. It says don't cry if anyone's watching. Don't express yourself too much because that's feminine. Don't appreciate people a lot lest you be considered weak. And that's so many don'ts to live by. No wonder we often find men who are struggling to give compliments, receive compliments, admit their mistakes, and acknowledge their problems. You know what? I once wished my father Happy Men's Day, and his response was, oh, did you guys know that an International Men's Day exists? To all the men in the room, did anyone wish you? I want to hear it from you guys.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Yes, they did.
When was the last time you received a compliment? Quick.
That's frequent, thankfully.
Oh, wow. Good for you. When was the last time you gave someone a compliment?
That's frequent too.
Okay. When was the last time you had a heart-to-heart conversation with someone?
In other words, the XCOM discussion.
Oh, you are too smart for this. But okay, these are the things that make the difference between an emotionally healthy person and an emotionally unhealthy person. Much more than this, but also this. And I would like to point out to you that depression rates in young boys and young men are climbing, implying a direct increase in suicide rates, killing oneself, fratricide rates, the killing of a brother or teammate, and homicide rates, the killing of one's family. An African proverb rings loudly in my ears: that the boys of a village will burn it down if they don't feel its warmth. And how do we extend warmth? Smiling. A big smile from everyone in the audience, please. Okay, compliments abound. Okay, and you can also compliment me, by the way. And listening by focusing on the speaker's story, their experiences, and their emotions. And I think a world that is kinder to men will also naturally be kinder to women. All that women need to do to defend themselves, that's scurrying through the streets in the dark, refraining from posting online, facing trolls, blocking people, avoiding in-person presence, would reduce if men were sensitized about the impact that some of their behaviors have on the women around them. And I outrightly disagree with the notion that says that some men are naturally toxic. Naturally stupid? Maybe, but not toxic. No, I think all humans, men included, have a boundless capacity for empathy, men included. And as a psychology undergrad, I can confirm this. And this also reminds me of what I do for my 7-year-old younger brother. Every time he comes to me crying, I hold him tightly till he either sleeps or smiles. And you know what happened when the first time he saw me crying? He was the first person to come to me, put his hands around me, move his hand over my head and say, "You'll be fine, Didi. It's okay. Everything will be fine." And this made me believe in the power of raising compassionate, kind, and emotionally sensitive boys. Gentle boys who literally grow up into gentlemen. Men who think masculinity is about being righteous, giving, brave, and compassionate rather than stoic, inexpressive, or aggressive. That would be a world that would take care of your emotions, irrespective of who you are, and also your marks and your hair. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shrihita, for that very eloquent speech. Now let's take 30 seconds to deliver personal feedback to Toastmaster Shrihita. Timer, please let me know when 30 seconds are over. Thank you very much. Now let's go ahead for the second speech of the day. The second speech for the day will be delivered by an SPR specialist, Stop, Pause, Restart specialist. He is also a coach, he is a trainer, and he is also a keynote speaker, which makes me even more excited to listen to his speech. But before that, please help me welcome the evaluator of the speaker's speech. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sunil, the evaluator of speech number 2.
Good evening there. Hope everyone is doing well.
Yes.
Yes. So my target speaker, Mr. Saurabh, is pursuing the pathway presentation and mastery. Today he's attempting his L1 P4. The project the purpose of his speech today is to handle the audience challenges whenever he is presenting his speech. So with that, I hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day. All the best, Saurabh.
Evaluator, what's the time guidelines for this project?
The total time taken would be around 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15.
And he would be delivering a 5 to 7 minutes, followed by the audience challenges that he will be able to handle. I hope the audience has already appointed some members to pose the challenges.
Understood. I need some guidance from the speaker then. Saurabh, how do you want your timings to be reported? Do you want me to share my screen? I can not do that and put it on chat if you prefer that.
Is it okay if you share the screen and unpin it? Will that work or how?
I don't believe it's possible to unpin a shared screen.
Okay. Otherwise, you can put it in the chat. I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Okay. Then the second question is, how do you want the timings to be reported? You have two segments. One is your speech itself, and then the Q&A with the disruptive audience. So do you want the timings to be reported at 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 12.5 minutes, and 15 minutes, or do you want it at the end of your speech and again at the end of the free time?
I think we can do it, 10 minutes, and then when I think the first green, you can report it at 10 minutes, and then 12, and then 15, or something like that.
Sounds good. I'll do that.
So we can have the speech going on continuously.
Okay, done.
Okay. Toastmaster Saurabh, Gashuku the gathering. Gashuku the gathering, Toastmaster Saurabh.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Aditya. It's a wonderful topic, the Ikigai. It's very close to my heart. I understand that Ikigai is something that we all strive to, find in our lives. And it's a fantastic book written by Hector Garcia and Francesca Miralles. But do you know that there was a second journey printed as a book by the same authors when they were once again in Japan? And this time they were traveling from the city of Tokyo to the city of Kyoto by the very popular fast train Shinkansen. And the journey from one station, that is Tokyo to Kyoto, had a lot of sessions, because of which they came out with a lot of new concepts related to Ikigai. And along with this beautiful concepts came the new book, the Ikigai, the Journey. And one of the ideas in the book by these two authors, Hector Garcia and Francesca Miralles, in the journey caught my eye. And that concept is what I would call is Kashku. You can pronounce it Kashku. That's how the Japanese do it. But in English, we can also pronounce it as Kashiku. Now, let me take you through, into more details about this concept. The Japanese do believe that, any person can have a great output, but not as much as a larger one when he's in the company of greater talents. What they believe in total is that the sum of synergies is the key over and above an individualism. Now, what I mean by this is that any individual person who is carrying out a task or who is coming up with an idea receives a boost with the infectious energy that person is around, in the company of the talented people. When in a group of such talented people, the energy of these surroundings is at play, and hence the lone creator or the person sees himself or herself fueled or inspired by the energy or the optimism of the people around him.
Hey, but Saurabh, I'm sorry, but the energy, it is good, right? To be able to share energy and
yes,
I feel there is more to it than you're telling us. Is there something else that you want to share?
Yes, absolutely. There is a lot to it, and I'm going to take to you in detail about it. How
but
this...
can you do it right now instead of like doing it later? I would like to know now because I have to go somewhere.
Sure. So the point here is when you are in a group, when you're in a group in different programs, like an outbound program or somewhere, there are a lot of ideas brainstorming that happens. And these ideas give brainstorming, trigger your brain, you come up with new concepts and which, or maybe sometimes can fuel the idea which you're working on. Maybe you're stuck when you're working individually. So that is why the Gashuku is called the gathering, right? So what I mean to say is when there are people with at a fever pitch at the high of their ideas, if any individual comes in company of this, the person also himself or herself is elevated. And that is what the term Gashuku is. The term Gashuku basically in Japanese means that a gathering of a group of people, which is not where the usual meets happen in the office or in your cafe, wherever you live, but somewhere out of their regular area, which can not only inspire you, but also fuel you, the surroundings that may add more to it, the people or the ideas that flow naturally will help an individual. Not only, it may not be because for a group idea, it may be for also an individual task that that person might be pursuing. So I think, let me give you an example. I think an example would make it much more clear what exactly Gashuku means. We all know the two important movies or books that have come, The Vampire and Frankenstein. People who have been a fan of horror movies or books do definitely must have heard about it, I'm sure. How did they come into existence?
Did you say vampire?
Yes, The Vampire.
Not Dracula.
Not Dracula. The Vampire and Frankenstein. They're two different stories and two different books. Yeah.
All right. I love Frankenstein. I've not read The Vampire. I don't know who is it by.
Yeah, it's by. I'll tell you who it's by. Let me tell you the story, and let me tell you how these two came. These two came into existence together. So, back in 2 or 3 centuries back, in a Villa Diodati, I think it was located at shore of Lake Leman in Geneva. The villa was hired by Lord Byron during the British era, and Lord Byron had invited his friend and poet Percy Shelley, and also in the villa in the evening was present a physician called J.W. Polidori. Now they were having a good time, and the atmosphere outside was such that it was the winter darkness, and the whole area was plunged into the evening winter dark atmosphere where there was hardly any sun possible. Now, Lord Byron suggested, let's play a game together here. And what would that be? Let's have a discussion. Let's have some brainstorming. And then let's lock each other up in a room to write one of the best horror piece of art we can. Now, everybody went and put their best. Polidori, the physician, wrote The Vampire, J.W. Polidori. And when he discussed this idea, when he actually displayed what exactly he had written, everybody thought he would have been a clear winner of this game because that was one of the fantastic stories. But wait, there's something else to it. There was one more person present in the room. It was the wife of the poet, Mary Wollstonecraft. She was the wife of the poet Percy Shelley. What Mary overheard during the discussion before the exercise was her husband talking to the physician Polidori about some research of time, where you can use the electricity to reanimate the corpses. Something very creepy, yet interesting for Mary. And that's when that concept fueled an idea in her mind. And that is when something called as the Frankenstein was born. The story of Frankenstein, which is very popular in the form of a movie and book and series. So if you understand now, it was more like a gathering, a gush. The people come together, they brainstorm. Even it may be for an individual to finish his or her task or put his or her idea to implement it, or even if it may be a group task or a group idea, which might result in something much greater. And that is what I want to point out.
But
This will not
Toastmaster Saurabh,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, that in a group environment, generally the outcomes are far better. But if you take, the example of J.K. Rowling and the iconic book series Harry Potter that they have launched, that she created, she did it in solitude while sitting in a train journey while going to King's Cross. So I think greatness can come even in solitude and not when you're surrounded by people.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pranav. Thank you for
That'll
pointing this
happen when
out.
the speech is on solitude. This is on Gashiku.
Yes, Kashiku. Yes, thank you for pointing out, Pranav. Actually, it's a concept. And every individual, be it a writer, be it an innovator, be it an inventor, has their own way of getting the creativity out. Some may find it in the solitude. Some may find it in a group of people. It's totally how you take it. It's totally how it intrigues your brain. It's not necessary everybody finds new ideas or new concepts in a group. Some may find it chaotic, and some truly blossom in solitude, like J.K. Rowling, and there are many of them. Again, it's an individual call where you find what is your comfort zone, how you follow your passion. Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. So the idea is about the gathering, but yes, rightly pointed by Pranav, that some may find it in solitude. But what does it all signify? It all signifies that we all have a passion to follow, and our passions ignite, our passions fire out, maybe in the group or in the individual or in the company of your close friend. But the point is,
hey, Olivia, hi. Hey, hi, Olivia. Hey, Olivia. Hi, Olivia. What's up? Hello.
the point is, how much are we following our passion? Are we really giving it a time? Are we really, able to take a step forward to it?
What's up, Olivia? Hi, Olivia. How are you? Hello. Hello.
Hi, Toastmaster Melvin.
Hi.
Is there anything you want to share with us?
No, I'm so sorry. I'm talking to my pet right here.
He's doing his Gashiku there.
Yeah. Thank you. So, what I was talking about is passion.
Just one thing, Toastmaster Saurabh, were you aware that Frankenstein, the book was actually called Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus? Not many people are aware of this.
Absolutely.
We all know it as a movie and not as a book, most of them, especially if you're under the age of 30.
Yes, absolutely. The movie came out of the book, but not many people know that. Thank you for pointing it out, Toastmaster Cyril.
Always a pleasure to show off.
Thank you. So yeah, coming to the end of the speech, I was talking about passion. We all are stuck in our day-to-day life with some mysterious routines that take most of our time. How much do we allot time to passion? What we have to do, I would suggest, or even what the Japanese do, they do try to take some time off, maybe a few hours, maybe a few days. Of course, I understand we all work in corporate jobs, businesses. It's not possible. What I'm pointing out is, why can't we just have a day or two, maybe go out on the weekend, have a gashuku, which will fuel our passion and which will help us move one step closer to a passion. That may not be possible. Then why not take a few hours? Why not take a few hours to do a brainstorm or to talk about our passion and ideas to someone who we are closely attached? Maybe a third point of view, or maybe that person's point of view or energy might fuel something much greater. So that's it. It's important. I'll tell you one small example. It's about me. I have a passion of speaking, and when I speak, I initially used to speak for a few minutes, and today I have joined Toastmasters, Speakers Associations, and doing a lot of webinars. When I say I'm following a passion, I keep doing some speaking assignments, maybe a few hours or a few minutes in a week or so. That definitely helps me push me towards my Ikigai. So before I end my talk here, I just have to give one message. It's okay or worthwhile to, take a break from our routine life comfort zone and bringing our life for a halt temporary. Maybe devote a few days or 1 or 2, or maybe a few hours to truly nurture a passion. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Nadi.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Saurabh. Now, before we end the prepared speeches segment, let's have 30 seconds so that we all can deliver personal feedback for Toastmaster Saurabh. Timer, please let me know when 30 seconds are over. Thank you very much, Timer. Congratulations, Toastmaster Saurabh, on that completion of the project, managing a difficult audience. I just hope and pray my audience is not as difficult as it was for you. Mine are all backbenchers sitting very silently. Now let me revisit that one pillar of finding your Ikigai, that is being a keen observer. Every time you find something that you love, find something that you're good at, find something that can get you money, make sure you note it down. Keep observing things around you so you can actually identify what your skills are, what your interests are. Moving to the second pillar of finding your Ikigai, and that is gratitude. If you are not grateful for what you have, you'll never be able to identify the value of what you have. So make sure you're grateful for the time you have, the space you have, the energy you have. And I'm stopping my monologue right here. And I want to know from you, what are you grateful for? So we all understand the importance of gratitude together. Let's start with Toastmaster Sai. What are you grateful for, Toastmaster Sai?
I am grateful for the opportunities I got as a young guy, because of which I'm able to follow my passions today and follow my dreams today without having to worry too much about a lot of things that trip up other people. So I'm grateful.
Toastmaster Sunil, Toastmaster, what are you grateful for?
Yeah, I'm grateful for the fact that I'm living today.
I think that was very profound. Toastmaster Shweta, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful to have such a good, supportive family and a lovely child.
Yes, yes. Toastmaster Cyril, what are you grateful for? Toastmaster Cyril is grateful for the silence that he enjoys.
Apologies.
Yeah.
No, just like Toastmaster Sunil said, grateful for being alive and being in good health. I think our blessings far outnumber anything that's negative.
Kalpana, what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for everything that's happening in my life. Be it my breathing, having our own house, everything. I feel everyday gratitude fills up the bigger bucket. That's what I feel.
Perfect, perfect. So feel grateful, identify the value of it, and live with it. So you find your further interests and further skills that you may possess. Moving ahead, another pillar of finding your Ikigai is also small wins, which actually tries to say that start with small steps, make mistakes and learn from them. Although the dream may be big, everything begins from a small step. So imagine someone's Ikigai is engineering. It begins from that fascination for buildings, fascination for cars. Can anyone tell me what is that small win, that small step in Toastmasters?
Giving your icebreaker.
Giving your icebreaker. but there is one speech that you give before the icebreaker.
The
I don't
first
think it's a
table
difficult
topic
one.
speech.
Sorry?
The first table topic speech.
Yes. On that note, it's time for me to open the table topic segment. The table topic master of today's meeting is someone I absolutely adore. She's already on screen. She was also the Toastmaster of the Year for last tenure from Division J. I'm also from Division J, so she makes me proud all the time. Today's table topic segment is special for her because it is also a part of her pathway. And today, she is there to complete her project successfully, which is listening, active listening. Please help me welcome table topic master, Toastmaster, Saishri Sastri. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya, and my fellow Toastmaster and guest. I am Saishri Sastri, and I am the table topics master of the day. Don't afraid, because this session is going to help you to remove your fear of impromptu speeches. This is an impromptu speech session of a Toastmasters meeting. It is an interesting session which will give you a chance for Toastmasters and guests to sharpen their listening, thinking, organizing, and speech delivery. For table topics, we have time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, green card will be shown. At 1 minute 30 seconds, yellow card will be displayed. At the end, that is at the 2 minutes, red card will be shown. Anyhow, we will have a 30-second grace period toward the higher side. Speakers has to speak for a minimum 1 minute to qualify the voting. I'm going to give you a topic, but how I'm going to select, right? Randomly. No, for that you need to type 1 to 6 number in the chat box. Quick, the time started now. You need to type number 1 to 6 in the chat box. Okay. Great. Wow. Okay. I'm able to see all the numbers. It's coming on, popping off here. Thank you so much. I would like to request Zoom master or the host of the meeting, please confirm once whenever I will announce the number. And to call the speaker, I have something. What is this? You can unmute and speak. This is impromptu speech session.
The die.
Die. Yes. Okay. And you have to say 1, 2, 3, start. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, start. My goodness. This is my favorite number, number 5. So with the speaker who has selected number 5, the first. It's Mahesh, Toastmaster Mahesh.
Ma'am, I am not Toastmaster. This is my first day.
Okay, no problem. So I will just take one. If you're okay, I will take you. You have to speak on the topic. You're ready?
Yeah, I will try. No problem. Yeah, I can certainly try.
Okay. Guest Mahesh, which person inspire you and why? Which person inspire you and why? Toastmaster, to be Toastmaster Mahesh.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So there are many persons in my life who inspired me, like my friends and family members and parents. But the most dramatic effect on my behavior is the person who has inspired me a lot is our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji. So I have read 2 books on his autobiography regarding his lifestyle and what are the positive things in his life. So few things I like regarding, first thing is, I like his work ethics. Yes, he is so much committed. I don't know when he's sleeping. Means every time, day and night hours, he works so hard. So this work ethics has really inspired me. Second thing is energy. So uh, from where does he get the energy? Still, it is a mystery for many of us. In spite of working so hard, I have not seen him yawning even for a single time in the television or news or anywhere. So he has the same level of energy wherever he goes, in spite of working and toiling so hard. So that's his energy level really inspires me a lot. And third thing, what inspires me is regarding his preparation. So he gets bonded with the people wherever he delivers a speech, and he prepares so nicely and in so much detail that we are surprised that how can he get so much information regarding numbers or science or agriculture or external affairs or sports. In any topic, wherever he goes, he delivers the speech as if he is an expert in that field. So the preparation part of any speech or any debate, that also really inspires me. So the three parts inspires me. First is energy level. Second is his work ethics, and second, third, last one is his preparation for any job or any task. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guest Mahesh. As you rightly pointed out, when we inspired by someone, what are the things through which we are inspired? Like you said about Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he was very much prepared for his all the task. He is very energetic, and he is his work ethics, that is super. I also admire that. Next, moving to the second topic, you have to again count, right? 1, 2, 3. Yes, the number is 1. So the first I'm able to see at 7:24, Aditya Balya. He has written number 1.
Kalpana has also won. She's under the name of Saurabh Bhatt. She's a guest today.
Yeah.
Shall we go with Kalpana?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, guest Kalpana. You are ready to take your topic? You're good to go?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So for you, topic is golden days, school days. Saurabh, Toastmaster Saurabh, golden days, school days.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much, ma'am, for the topic. I would say, if you ask me on this topic, school days and golden days, I wouldn't say exactly as golden days, but it's a mix of colors. For me, it's a mix of all the colors. For me, my school was first of the places or rather organization which actually, I will say, self-help me to understand myself. That was one, and to also understand my interests. I come from a very old school. My school is I think almost 125 years old. We have very famous alumni. So I feel if you're going to call the school age the golden age, I would say it can be called that, but there will be a gray area because there was so much things that could be. I would say over and all. For me, I would say golden era is an understatement. It has given me everything: the way I talk, the way I move, the way I listen to people, the way I interact, everything. I will say my school has played a huge part in it. Second, it gave me the podiums. It gave me the podiums to talk. It gave me the podiums to dance, to express myself. So I would say my entire personality, the way you look at me today, the way my elocution, the way I talk, my school plays a very huge role. So I would say yes, school days are golden days, but I will say with all the other colors also that at times we are unable to see it or we do see it, but the shine of the gold is too high. So I will just say for me, it's all the colors put together. That'll be all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Saurabh, for your wonderful speech. As you told that school days or so this is a full of with a color. You have talked about how you're speaking, how you're presenting yourself. That is because of your school. There was some gray area everywhere. But the way you are presenting your school, that is really good. That's the first thing which we have to learn. See always the positive side of your institution. Moving to the next speaker. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. 1, 2, 3. My God. Number 4. Who is the first who said the 4th number? It's
Sort
Saurabh Patil. Yes, Saurabh.
Yeah.
Yes. You're ready?
Yes.
Okay. Saurabh Patil. My passion. Saurabh. My passion. Saurabh Patil.
So much travel topics, Master. I think it's a day to talk about passion on the visit because we are circling around the same topic. So, I would like, I don't know, I mean, I would like to talk about my passion, which I'm pursuing right now. So I had two passions in life. One as a speaker, I love to talk a lot. I spoke in eloquence in schools and colleges. And I also I was a foodie since my school days, and I always had the passion to start my own cafe. Fortunately, with God's grace and everyone's well wishes, I started working towards my passion back in 2020, during the COVID. I somehow took the courageous step. And today I run a cafe in Mumbai, which is one passion of mine. And I'm also a keynote speaker, which is a second passion of mine. So, if you understand the Ikigai, I have been following all the steps and moving towards my Ikigai, something I love to do, run a cafe, talk a lot about my niche, then something which the people would pay me for, and then something which is in demand, and something which is, I think, my passion turned into business. So that's my passion, which I'm following. I think it's important for each of us to take out time and do follow our passion. Thank you. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Saurabh. What a wonderful thought. Follow your passion. And definitely how you followed your passion and the cafe, now it is your business. Another to become a speaker, and you have got the chance to speak on eloquence. Really super. Moving to the next topic. Again, you have to say 1, 2, 3. Ready? Yes. 1, 2, 3. Any guesses? Sorry?
1.
1 already done. It's number 3.
Unfortunately,
We see it's a Bhuvi
yeah,
Gupta.
I believe Bhubi is no longer in the meeting. Actually, she has to drop off. So do we have,
Okay.
maybe you can get a volunteer.
Okay, yes, we can take a volunteer now. Now
Please.
Aditya is raising hand, but you have to speak again. Okay, shall Sergeant at arm of the meeting, Sandhya, will you take the topic?
Yes, I would like to volunteer.
Okay. Toastmaster Sandhya. Favorite movie, Toastmaster Sandhya.
Favorite movie. When I hear the word movie itself, it's sort of nostalgic. And the reason that it's become a nostalgia is thanks to a couple of things. Thanks that I have a young child at home, because of which I can no longer go to the theaters to watch a movie, because he's not old enough to watch a movie, and he is definitely too young to be taken to watch an adult movie or a movie made for adults, basically. Second thing is, thanks to COVID, I think a lot of us have actually lost the touch of going to the theater and watching movies. So these days, to me, watching a movie is watching something online on Netflix or Amazon Prime, the OTT platforms that we have. Now, when you ask me what is my favorite movie, I am a person, to give you some context to this, I'm a person who used to go a lot to the theaters as a college girl to watch all the masala Bollywood movies. But thanks to OTT, I don't go to theaters anymore. And I have started watching a plethora of movies that do not really come into the masala Bollywood category. And one of the movies that I can think of right now is the movie called The Great Indian Kitchen. I think that was one of the last few movies that I enjoyed watching. It's a Malayalam movie about a couple where the wife is doing all the cooking, all the cleaning, but just doesn't get acknowledged for the hard work that she does every now. And that, I think, is a story of a lot of homemakers who do not get acknowledged for the value that they add to the family. I thought it was a beautiful movie, and it is still very fresh in my mind, though I had watched it quite some time ago. So that is my favorite movie, The Great Indian Kitchen. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandhya. Yeah, that movie, The Great Indian Kitchen, is really lovely movie. I also watched that, though I don't know Malayalam. I watched in English and the translations and all. I'm a big fan of Malayali movies. Moving to the last table topics.
Table Topics Master, we're running behind schedule, so
Okay.
we might have to cut it short now.
No problem. So what we will do is, I'm not going to take another table topic. If you see all the topics that all come from your own thought, you have heard that all, you have thought about, about the topic, you have organized and you have delivered. When we are talking about your passion, when you are talking about your favorite things, when we are talking in which you are currently working, that become very easy and very interesting for everyone, right? So just take your days, your next projects and all, just like that you love it, then you will be successful. Over to you, table topic. Huh? No, not table topic. It's a Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saishri Sastri, for that very engaging table topic session. Before we proceed forward, Zoom Master, can we launch the polls for the best speaker and best table topic speaker?
This might have to wait a little bit. I'll have to do it
All right.
after the evaluations.
No problem. So let's move ahead with the penultimate pillar to find your Ikigai, and that is being mindful. Staying at the present, acknowledging that present, and being mindful of your thoughts, your behavior, your feelings, and your actions. That is where mindfulness becomes a very instrumental element in finding your Ikigai. And let's make all of us mindful today. Let's bring all of us to the present. And for that, I have a very interesting mindfulness exercise, which I'd like to call the meditation, the guiding meditation for today's evening. So for this, I want each one of you to find a comfortable space. It can be your dining room, it can be your bedroom, drawing room, whatever. Find a space where you feel comfortable, where you find peace and comfort. Yeah, is everyone ready? Just give me a thumbs up if you're ready. If you're settled at your place, settle down at your comfortable posture, whatever works for you. Well, okay. So we are going to begin this meditation. We are going to draw every one of you to the present. And for that, I want you to sit back and relax. So relax yourself, loosen your muscles. And close your eyes. Close your eyes. All of you. Just close your eyes. Toastmaster Sai, I see your eyes open. Close your eyes. Everyone, close your eyes. Picture a relaxing place. It can be a beach, it can be a mountain top, it can be a forest, it can be your house, whatever. Just find peace in your favorite relaxing place for now. Have you imagined the place? Well, imagine what you see, hear, and smell in your imagined oasis. So if you are in a beach, you must be seeing the waves, smelling the sand, watching the sun. Imagine what you hear, see, and smell in your oasis. Start to breathe in slowly, allowing the air to fill your lungs. Hold your breath for a moment and release it. Slowly release your breath as you continue to picture your surroundings. Now focus on what you hear, what you see, and what you smell. Draw in another breath. If you feel any tension you're holding, just release it from your muscles and draw in the breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, let go of any negative thoughts from the day. Free your mind of worry as you continue to picture your happy place. Draw from the serenity of the moment. Allow the calmness of your imagined oasis to wash away all your worries and drain the tension from your muscles. Visit here again whenever you like. Now draw in the final breath and release it slowly. You can open your eyes whenever you're okay, whenever you're comfortable. Now you can always come back to this safe place of yours. You can come back to this imagined oasis and you can focus on the present. This will improve your decision making and it will help you identify your interests and skills. And the last pillar of finding your Ikigai is being open, releasing yourself. And this is something we are experts at Toastmasters because we are always open to feedback. On that note, I am opening the Breakfast of Champions. And for this particular segment, it's time for me to welcome the general evaluator. I'm telling this to him directly for the first time. I am a very big fan of his speaking skills. I was one of those few people who got the fortune to watch him live on Eloquence 2023. And I'm still a very big fan of the way he rang the bell. I'll ask for it again, but please help me welcome the general evaluator of today's meeting, Toastmaster Cyril.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Aditya, for that lovely session on Ikigai. Now, we have this thing at BKC Fireplace. We say that this is a club where you laugh a little, you learn a little. And you had Toastmaster Aditya ensuring that we learned a lot about Ikigai. Let me try my little bit to ensure that you laugh a little, right? Just imagine, what do you think is the worst possible profession that a Toastmaster can be? You have 10 seconds.
Librarian.
Mime artist.
Oh, right. Yes, yes, Toastmaster Kalpana. You're on mute. Mime artist. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I was saying, I was giving the metaphor me.
I missed that. Anyways, let me just ensure that we're not dragging. As per world champion of public speaking, they say that an X-ray technician is the worst profession that a Toastmaster can be in, because he'll look at everyone and says, I see something in you. The worst possible joke to crack here, right? Yes. Every single segment of a Toastmaster meeting is special. Every single participant is special, except for one guy, that's the general evaluator. Having said that, okay, I didn't get a laugh for that. Never mind. Having said that, this is that segment of the meeting when you get feedback on literally every single thing that happened in the meeting. And not the special, the general evaluator will be helped by a team of other evaluators. We have the tag team as well as the prepared speech evaluators. Calling on the prepared speech evaluators right now to deliver their evaluation. And before that, let me call upon the timer to give the timing guidelines.
Evaluations are for 2 to 3 minutes. It turns green, the screen will turn green at 2, yellow at 2:30, red at 3, with a 30 seconds grace on top.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai, for that very short and sweet overview of the timing guidelines. Let me call upon Evaluator 1, Toastmaster Pranav, who shall be evaluating Speaker 1, Srijita. Over to you, Toastmaster Pranav.
Hi, Toastmaster Shrita. It was a pleasure hearing you speak today. Thank you so much for covering such a wonderful topic. Toastmaster Shrita, I think one thing I'd like to start by saying right off the bat is that you're an extremely charismatic speaker. And it's reflected in the way that you started your speech, the way that you conducted yourself through the speech, and the way that you handled a topic. It was incredibly brave also of you to choose a topic which most people would not generally choose to talk about, and that too in your level 1. So I'm sure that you would have given probably 2 or 3 speeches up until now, and it's incredibly brave of you to pick this. And the reason why I said that you're a very charismatic speaker is because I think you're very effortlessly humorous. Because it's very akin to how probably Shah Rukh Khan, the famous Bollywood actor, speaks. So I think that that is a very strong quality that reflects throughout your speech. I love the joke that you cracked, that men are naturally stupid, not necessarily naturally toxic. That's a great speech. That's a great line. Having said that, there are a couple of things that I would also like to point out, which I feel if you would have incorporated your speech would have become even better. The first and the foremost that I normally focus on, and which I think every speaker should focus on, is the content. And when you structure your content, that content should flow effortlessly from one paragraph to the next. Now, you had great individual lines. The African proverb that you said about a boy, if they don't feel the warmth, they will burn down a village to feel the warmth. Or, how a man's world is both emotionally distant, hard, and abusive. Now, these are great lines. Individually, they make perfect lines. But, individual lines do not a good speech make, is what I always say. So it's very important to have a structure. Now, I realized that when you were speaking about your younger brother and how that experience that you gave him translated into him giving the warmth back to you, that would have worked very well with that African proverb, and use that as a great segue into your speech, right? But when that line came right out of nowhere, right? So it became extremely difficult for us to connect the dots. So it's very important that your speech flows naturally from one paragraph to the next, so that we take back a valuable lesson at the end of it. That's the first point, Toastmaster Sridhar. I think the second important point is on your body language. Now, because you're a very charismatic speaker, it's very important that you don't falter a little on the body language. I'll give you a very simple body hack. Now, biologically, our bodies are programmed to go back to the same place where they start with, right? So when you start your speech like this, your hands are going to come back to the same position which you were doing throughout your speech, right? But when you start off like this, it's more expansive. This is closed, this is welcoming. And for a topic that's so sensitive, you cannot yourself appear closed. Having said that, I do feel, Toastmaster Srijata, that you are a phenomenal speaker. And only if you work on these small points, I'm sure you will do a great job with the next speech that you do. I'm so amazed to know that this was your level 1 speech, and kudos and best of luck to you. It was an honor for me to listen to you speak today. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. I agree with everything that Toastmaster Pranav said. You're a delight to listen to, Toastmaster Sri. Is it Srijita or Srihita?
It is Srijita. It's the J.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I heard both. That's the reason why I asked. We ensure that we nurture champions here, and we easily find you as champion materials. Feel free to come back for a detailed evaluation from BKC Fireflies. And you have everything in you to excel at contests. All the very best.
Thank you so much. I dread being your competitor, but maybe someday.
I'll lose. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no.
Let me call upon our second evaluator, Toastmaster Sunil, who's coming back to BKC Fireflies. Always a pleasure to see you, Toastmaster Sunil.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I commend Toastmaster Saurabh for his courage and confidence in delivering his project speech. I think it takes a lot of confidence to stand in front of an audience and handle their queries and questions satisfactorily. And I would say that Toastmaster Saurabh kept his calm and cool in handling all the queries and in satisfactorily answering them. He managed, first of all, to establish a warm and inviting atmosphere by his storytelling approach and gradually introducing us to the concept of his speech today. I think the good thing was when he started his speech, he gradually transitioned by picking up on the theme of the day. And then gradually he entered into the speech. From there on, he shared his story about how the authors discovered this concept, and his overall body language, vocal clarity was phenomenal. Now, what is the righteous purpose of his speech today? I think that was handling the audience challenges. Peter Drucker, a management guru, once said that communication does not happen in the speaker's mind, it happens into the listener's mind. And I think when it comes to handling of those queries, there were probably 3 or 4 queries that were raised, and I think he very subtly handled them very well. Probably at some point there was a disturbance also in the audience, which was, I think, accidentally, but he probably, instead of interrupting the participant, he very smartly managed this, asking that, do you want to share anything? And I think the audience was conscious, and then probably he muted himself. I think these are few ways that he handled the audience queries very well. Now, if he has to take the speech to the next level, and if he has to really master his craft in handling the audience, I think there are 3 or 4 categories of audience that you have to be very aware of. First of all, there's a skeptic audience, and you could find that in the form of Mr. Prashant, who clearly tried to bring in facts. I think that was a point wherein you could have brought in credibility to answer to his questions. I think there were judgmental audience, or there were smart audience like Cyril. Probably you could have used Cyril's credibility, invited him to explain the concept, and borrowed his credibility to establish the concept that you were trying to explain. And then there were curious audience like Sai, who were trying to understand the definition of what is Goshuka and what does it mean more to it. I think understanding the audience personalities and probably accordingly trying to answer them will take your audience handling to the next level. So with your style of communication and understanding the audience personalities, and also understanding what questions are there in their mind, will definitely take your speech to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you. Toastmaster, sorry, is your hand raised by any? Okay, no, that's just your background. All right. Thanks a lot. Let me now call upon the auxiliary role players, starting with Toastmaster Sai, to let us know how we're doing in terms of time and the timing guidelines and the timing report.
Evaluator 1, Pranav, took 3 minutes, 23 seconds. Evaluator 2, Sunil took 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Back to you.
All right. Thank you. We are running short of time. Let me call upon the R counter, Toastmaster Melvin.
Thank you, Suresh. So Pranav muttered the word R about like 25 odd times. Saurabh like 2 times. Mahesh used fillers like R about 12 times. And Kalpana about 3 times, and Sandhya once. That's it from my side.
All right. Thank you so very much. Let me call upon the grammarian, Toastmaster Shweta, who will ensure that we all use a word of the day, righteous.
So, word of the day, righteous, was used by 3 times by the speaker, and almost all the speakers were flawless. There was very struggling time for me to find out the not so good usage of the language. The word so and that were used by less than 5 times by TMOD, evaluator 1, and second speaker, Saurabh Patil. and some Srijita used very good African proverbs, and some good words which I noted down was converge, fascination, and amalgamate. Saurabh Patil also used the word individualism, which is really nice word. Thank you.
Thank you, grammarian Toastmaster Shweta. Now let's come to the general evaluation of the entire meeting. Given that we have a positive time, I'll try to rush through it. The meeting started at 6:30 and 22 seconds. We normally take pride in starting the meetings at 6:30, and Toastmaster side, presiding officer, is pretty much adamant about starting the meeting at 6:30. Let's ensure that we do begin the meetings bang at 6:30. Also, the AV checks could have been done. There were at least two places when the AV was missing. We have the good practice of starting the meeting. Sai opens the meeting room at 6:15 so that we can do all the AV checks. Let's ensure that all of that is done. Toastmaster Sandhya, you're doing the SAR role after a long while. You did a great job despite that. The only small hitch was you missed out the mission statement of Toastmasters, which is considered decorum. Do ensure that you don't miss that off in the future meetings. Apart from that, great job in ensuring that the energy of the room really lifted once you came on screen. While Toastmaster Sandhya missed out the SAR responsibility, Toastmaster Sai came up and took up the mission statement and gave a very good overview of the key things that happened in the last week. Nothing much to talk about Toastmaster Sai's presidential address. I don't think you'll have much time to speak to guests if I continue. Toastmaster Aditya, you excelled as a Toastmaster of the day today. Like I said, learn a little, laugh a little is something that we try to ensure at BKC Fireflies. You really ensure that we learned a lot about Ikigai. You also ensure that you try to ensure that each one of us in the audience spoke. I noticed you calling out people. That was a great job. Speaker 1 and Speaker 2. Speaker 1, you're a delight. Speaker 2, you probably had the most heckled speech in BKC Fireflies. Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Sunil. All of us were actually heckling him, including Toastmaster Melvin. None of those were unplanned. All of that was planned. And kudos to Toastmaster Saurabh to pull that off.
Sorry about that.
No
Okay.
worries at all. It was a delight seeing. Nothing much to complain about this meeting. Almost everything went well. Coming to the timer roles, timer, you did a great job. Our counter, Melvin, whenever we are stuck you're doing this job for the second time, whenever we're running short of time, it's always easier to show that report on screen, having an Excel sheet or something. I know you're doing this on your phone. It's a lot more efficient if you do it on the laptop so that people know what exactly are their crutch words. All right, it's fine to have a few filler words here and there, but when someone uses it more than 3 or 4 or 5 times, it becomes a crutch word. That's something that the person should know about. Nothing else. I'm keen to know more about Ikigai. Therefore, the general evaluator, over and out. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, for your closing comments. Over to you, Aditya.
Thank you very much for that very constructive, very genuine and righteous report, Toastmaster Cyril. Now it's without further ado, Zoom Master, can we please launch the polls for the best speaker, best role players and auxiliary role players? Or shall we? Yeah.
Bhuvi, feel free to just vote your conscience. I know you joined the meeting late, so it doesn't matter. Just go ahead, do vote so we know we can close the polls. I think we got 12 out of the 13 votes cast. If somebody's still voting, give me an indication, or I can end the poll. I'm going to count to 5, 4. Oh, all done. Back to you, Aditya.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Without further ado, I'll take this moment to summarize my entire TMOD session. We started with what Ikigai is, how can you find your Ikigai, and the route to find your Ikigai has several pillars. Number 1 is reflection. Keep reflecting, keep observing, take notes, keep journaling. Number 2 is gratitude. Make sure you feel gratified. We feel grateful of what you have, what you are possessing, what you are capable of. And then we come to mindfulness, where we'll have to stay in the moment, live in the present, and make proper decisions. And then we come to openness, be open to feedback from yourself and from others as well. And lastly, small step, small win, because huge journey starts with small micro baby steps. And on that note, let me pass over the charge to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Sai. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Aditya. You were a delight as the TMOD. I have a feeling that this is probably close to your Ikigai, being on stage. I saw you during the panel discussion. I saw you today. Your charisma, the way you carried yourself, you're doing that. I feel that there is something there. You should talk to your close people you consider close to you and trust. Ask them. I think you're pretty close to, you're getting close to finding your Ikigai with Toastmasters. Congratulations on a great job. Very well done. Speaking of a job well done, Saishri, I have another task for you. One little task. Are you up for it? Let me see if Saishri is still there. I don't see her. Saishri, give me a thumbs up if you're there. No, Saishri. All right. I'll do it myself. Bhuvi, are you ready for a little bit of a challenge? Because I know you were there for the table topic section, but you have to drop off. So I don't think you got a chance to participate in table topics. If you're ready to participate in table topics now, you can. Oh, there you go.
I'm a little scared, but okay, all right. I'm up for the challenge.
That's the way we do it in Toastmasters. We take up challenges and we help that build our speaking muscles. All right, Cyril, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to come up with a topic which you think will challenge Bhuvi. Because let me tell you, Bhuvi, tell us a little bit about yourself. What brought you to Toastmasters? Where you work? Are you from a native born and raised Mumbaiker? How is it? So we have something to put our hat on.
Okay, sure. All right. So I'm originally a Delhiite. I've been in Bombay since 2017, except for the year and a half of COVID. I am a marketer. I have an MBA in marketing, a bachelor's degree in economics. I work as a marketer at a bank currently, but I was previously in the media sector. So I moved to Bombay to work for a launch of a media brand, and then got tired with media and switched to BFSI, and now I'm working, at a bank. What brought me to Toastmasters is a couple of things. I've always been supremely interested in public speaking. I had one stint, I've tried doing a little bit of debating. I've had one stint where I kind of compared a school, ceremony where people got scholars badges, etc. But I've never really quite been there. I think I have some nascent talent, and I want to explore it a little bit more. So that is one big reason why I'm at Toastmasters. Second, I like what they say about how effective communication helps build leadership skills. So the second is that I like the fact that there is a lot of rigor and structure in Toastmasters, and also the entire process, it helps to develop you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is the second important reason why I joined.
All right, I'm going to interrupt you right now because we need to keep some of that energy for the actual table topic.
Oh, all right.
Cyril, do you have a topic in mind?
I do, yeah.
You do? Okay. So let me sort of orient Bhuvi and how things are going to go. Bhuvi, I'm going to go off screen right now because nobody wants to see my face. So okay. I am off. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to share a screen, and you will see that the screen color will change after about a minute. Not about a minute, exactly a minute, and then it'll turn yellow. It'll go from gray to green, and then from green to yellow, and then from yellow to red. And it changes at 1:30, and 2. You have to at least aim to reach that green light. Basically, speak unrehearsed, unprepared for at least 1 minute on a topic that Cyril will be giving to you right now. All right. So let me share my screen first. So that is step number 1.
And I have to speak till it's green, right? So
ideally until it's red, but try to speak until it's green. It's just a minute, just a minute. It's just 1 minute. You'll ace that through.
So it'll be
that's
green,
right.
green, then yellow, then red, correct?
Yes, yes. Traffic lights.
Okay. Traffic lights, yeah. Okay.
Cyril, do you have a topic for?
I do, yes. But before that, did I hear it right? You're an economist who is into marketing, who was in media before.
I was a wannabe economist.
Got it.
Who then decided that she must do something else.
Lovely. Okay. You'd have seen a lot of people in a lot of different people in a media company and a bank. I'm going to give you something that will make you want to think about those people. All right?
Sure. Okay.
Take 3 seconds and think about the worst colleague that you ever had in your career so far. All right? Tell us at least 3 things good about that person.
Okay, all right. So should I begin?
You can take maybe 10-15 seconds to orient your thoughts if you want. Feel free to launch. Sai will bring the timer only when you start speaking.
Okay. Okay, all right, I will begin. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to my table topic, which is on my worst, the colleague that I liked, or I disliked the most, or I liked the most. And I have to speak on the 3 things that I like the most about him. So to start off with, the worst colleague that I've ever had is my boss. And I don't think that'll come as a surprise to many people, because when you report to somebody, and this is my boss at the said media company at which I moved to Bombay for. And the fact that I've chosen my boss is something that I think many of us will be able to relate to, for the simple reason that when you are reporting to someone and they have some amount of power over you, then basically it is very easy to dislike them. And the dislike kind of comes very organically. But of course, my topic is for things that I like about him, for him, despite being my boss. So the first thing that I like most about him is how he basically, wanted the best for every single person who reported to him. Now, whether the best was best for him or best for best for him or best for the actual person is something that I leave up to everybody's imagination. So yeah, that is first thing that I like the most about him. The second was his, timeliness, how he basically gave us a work to do that was to be delivered, like a project that would have a time frame of 6 hours to be delivered in actually 2 hours. I think it taught us how to be very effective and efficient. So yeah, that is the second thing that I liked the most about him. And last but not the least, I really enjoyed how, every time there was a growth opportunity, then he did not want to, he did not want us to basically feel too good or to grow too high, too fast, because of course, sometimes success goes to people's head. And that is why he ensured that he kept all the growth opportunities, or he limited the growth opportunities and ensured that only a few came by people who used to report to him. So yeah, thank you very much. That's my time.
Wow. You had a minimum time of 1 minute and a maximum of 2 minutes 30 seconds, and you aced it by going 2 minutes 47 seconds. Great bit of sarcasm towards the end. And yes, I do agree that the most memorable bosses are the ones who put us through the worst so that we come up to our best. Thanks a lot, Bhuvi, for giving us a lot to think about. And over to you, Toastmaster Sai.
That is exactly right. I was like, wait, this sounds like what a Toastmaster should be doing, which is to find good things even in people who are hampering your promotion and make it sound like a good thing. This is shocking how well you did that. Good job. Anyway, so now that we've got this out of the way, you've done your first table topics with Toastmasters, with the BKC 5 Plus Toastmasters. I'm so happy that you were able to participate. I have one more announcement to make, and then a few conversations to have with some of our other guests. I have the results of the voting to go through. Let's start with the auxiliary role players. It was a tie. There were two people the room felt were exemplary in their jobs, and they were Shweta and Melvin. Congratulations on doing your jobs, the grammarian and the accountant, really well. You can flex, it's all right. Were you flexing, Shweta? If you're not, then you should. Is that, no, sorry, that was Kalpana, sorry about that. I thought I was looking at Shweta. The primary role player, the man who's finding his Ikigai in front of us, doing it live, that is Toastmaster Aditya, was adjudged the best primary role player for the evening. The best table topics participant was a tie again, but I'm going to exercise my prerogative as the president of the club and the person announcing the results. Like what Joseph Stalin said, it doesn't matter what votes are cast, what matters is who counts them. And in this case, I'm going to weight the votes in favor of our guest, Mahesh. It was a tie between Mahesh and one other table topic speaker, but I think Mahesh, being a non-Toastmaster, participating and competing head-to-head with a Toastmaster, gets it. So Mahesh, congratulations, great job.
I am really surprised. I was not expecting.
You will not take, did you say you won't accept the prize? We loved you. Now you're going to say, no, I don't want it? Is that what is happening?
I was not expecting.
Oh, expecting. I thought you said accepting. I was like, no, this is not. No, congratulations.
Yeah.
Our best evaluator for the evening was a man who's been on the big stage himself. I don't know if Sunil has been on the big stage, because the person I'm thinking of is Pranav, but I'm not sure if Sunil has been on the big stage. Pranav was the best evaluator for the evening for his job of evaluating Srijita. And let me finally tell the room who the best speaker for the evening was. And that was the woman who wants men to love themselves a little more. Let me present to you the best speaker for the evening, Toastmaster Srijita. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in this evening's events. And now that the meeting is, boom, closed, let me talk to a few guests and see what we did well and what we can improve on. So I'm going to call on, let me start with Mahesh. Mahesh, are you still, yes, you're there. Let me add you to the spotlight and tell us what your experience was with this meeting. 30 seconds.
Basically, I joined the Toastmaster Club once at Ahmedabad. So because of my weekends time, I was not able to spare the time. So I wanted to join during the weekdays. So I got a reference from Priyanka and
oh yes, this is we spoke on WhatsApp. Is that not right?
Yeah.
Oh right, yes, of course. I'm so happy you were able to make it. I just didn't draw the connection. Welcome to BKC 5 Plus. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, it was my dream to join the Toastmasters since last 2 years. But because I was located at Jamnagar, I was not able to join. And the concept, I really like the concept, and it really helped me into my speaking skills, the fluency, as well as my leadership skills. So that's my goal. And within the first half an hour only, I realized that I'll be able to achieve the goal. So I had sent a message on WhatsApp there. I want to join that club, how to fill the form. So in half an hour only, I could realize that it will be very useful.
And if it's the choices between Matrix Toastmasters and BKC 5 Plus Toastmasters, I think both clubs are great. I think Priyanka is with Matrix and Aditya is with Matrix as well. They're both amazing clubs. You won't make a mistake. Either club will work for you. The only probably difference is that you need a location-specific club. We meet during the week in online. So that's one aspect that you can think about. But I think both clubs, any Toastmasters club in the world, actually, they're all going to be equally good and equally helpful in your growth journey. So we're happy to have you here. And let me move on to a different guest. Kalpana, where are you? Kalpana's name is suddenly sort of makes it difficult, but
yeah. I'm so sorry. I had to change it on Zoom, but I did not. So I will say, if you ask about the session, I will say fabulous. Fabulous. The speakers were at one point. They were very precise of what they were talking. I will say, Srijita, perfect. I loved it. You've nailed it. I think you need to a little. This is from my a little on the body language, and you're nailing it. That's it. And I will say one of the things that really turned it for me, or I will say I really like, was the evaluation. it adds so much value to the speaker and they understand the gray areas they cannot see. So I really like that. So I will say all in all, I'm looking forward to joining a Toastmasters club. I'm based out of Bombay. I'm actually in a location shift, but I'm looking at moving towards the western suburbs and eventually being a part of one of the groups.
Right, and there are amazing clubs both on the BKC side, amazing clubs in the western suburbs. If you don't find an offline home, BKC Firefly is always there to have you. We'd love to have you there.
Toastmaster Sai, I'm sorry, I'll have to interrupt here. I don't know if you recall, Kalpana was a panelist in the panel discussion. I was the moderator, and unfortunately, you were the difficult audience. Just kidding.
No, I mean, you were great as a panelist as well. And if you join Toastmasters, it'll be a great place it'll be great for all of us to have you as a Toastmaster delivering speeches, growing along with us, showing us how it's done. Yes. And if you don't find an offline home, BKC Firefly is always there for you. And if you want to do a dual membership, we'll be there for you as well. So thank you so much.
Definitely looking forward.
Sounds good. And if, okay, I'll say that last. Let's pick somebody else to talk to. Mahesh, we've spoken to Bhuvi. Let's see if she can give a sandwich approach to us, some sandwich feedback to us about how the meeting went for her. Bhuvi, how was it?
So I quite enjoyed the meeting. I think this is my second session as a guest. I've attended the Bandra Toastmasters in-person session as well. And one thing that I really liked about this meeting is how that you ensured that everybody got a chance to speak, including me. I had to drop out for a little while because I got a call from my boss in this company. So I unfortunately had to take it. So, but still, like when you saw that I joined back in, I was given a chance to speak. And that is something I feel that as a person who's attending a session for the first time and who's of course interested in improving and speaking, it's a very good value add. So that is something that I really liked. And of course, the fact, as even Mahesh mentioned, the fact that this session of Toastmasters takes place on weekdays is also a great big value addition, because a lot of us have things to do and we definitely end up being busy on the weekend. So I think this is one of the robust clubs which has meetings on the weekend. So that is definitely one positive. And otherwise, I feel that the meeting was definitely conducted very, very well. The format was very much similar to the previous meeting that I had also attended. So I think those factors remain consistent. I had given the same feedback when I had attended the Bandra Toastmaster session as well. There is a lot of decorum in the way things are conducted. The etiquette is very much there. I really like the fact the way people are addressed as Toastmaster Sai or Toastmaster, as there is a level of professionalism and respect that is there, that is very good. The entire atmosphere is very positive. It's very encouraging. It's not negative, right? Especially when you're public speaking or you are speaking or conducting yourselves, you are scared of judgment. So I feel that Toastmaster ethos is such that it is judgment free. Great place to learn.
That's true.
Yeah, I totally love that.
Thank you so much for your feedback. Let me see if I can talk to maybe one person more. Sunil. Or maybe let's get Shweta as well. Sunil, Shweta. Sunil, 30 seconds, please. 30 seconds for Shweta.
So, as I said, I think the righteous purpose of coming to Toastmaster is to learn, and my speaker's theme is again gathering of so much of intelligent minds probably enhances our learning, and I think BKC is always a treat to come and listen to all the masterminds. I think that really keeps me pulling back to BKCs, whether it's playing different roles or just listening to all of you. So I think keep it up. So good topics, good participation. I think good guests. That makes BKC Fireflies really on fire.
Oh, wow. Thanks. I hope we don't burn everything down, but thank you so much. Shweta, how was your experience?
Yeah, I really had very good experience. First time I attended online session of Toastmasters, and I was not expecting that such energy would be there. All role holders played very well, and energy was really I could feel, though it was an online meeting. It really surprised me.
Wow, thank you.
Delightfully surprised.
Thank you so much. And I think, let me actually remove the spotlight so everybody can see everybody who was speaking. Thank you everyone for joining us. Srijita, I didn't get a chance to speak. You're a star in the making. Shall we listen to Srijita, or have you heard enough of her?
Enough, enough.
No, I really feel that this meeting was lit up by people like speakers like you and Saurabh. Both of you were amazing speakers. You all brought such different. So, and this is me just speaking as an individual, not as the president of the club. So please don't. That part is over. That part of the meeting is over. What I liked about both you speakers is that Saurabh has a very subtle and calming way of conversing, and I think it reflects on his choice of career as well. He's a life coach and a men's coach. So being calm and chill, like relaxed, is he needs it. And you bring a completely polar opposite of that. Energy, life, verve, zest, zeal, all those things come from you. And I think that was the standout moment for me, to see the transition from the high energy of Srijita to a more relaxed and calming energy of Saurabh. And I think that was great.
Okay, I have one small question. Like, you guys can keep it brief. I mean, obviously, we have run out of time, but Sai and Toastmaster Cyril, both of you were there in the last time I spoke. And just for everyone, my last speech was evaluated by Toastmaster Sai, and he looked at my body language and told me to prune down stuff a little bit. So I just want to ask a follow-up question. Did I do even slightly well in that direction, or was it?
No, I think you did. I think you did move to in terms of, okay, the difference between the previous speech and this speech was obviously the content was, it fed, lent itself. The previous speech was about you talking about your own shortcomings in planning and executing projects and doing your home college work and stuff like that. So that was a much more personal speech. So your energy was a little bit, okay, it's me. I'm going to talk about myself and my life and all the problems I face, and I want the world to know about it. So the energy was different. And this speech, the energy has to be different because you talk about yourself. And this speech was more about, hey guys, you should express yourself more and open yourself to hugs and emotions and things like that. So it was a different, you were speaking to someone in this speech and you were speaking about yourself in the previous speech. So the energy has to be different. But you did use your body language and all the skills you have a little bit better. Not, I shouldn't say better, more, it was not as expansive as last time, which I think is great. And I think what Pranav said about starting like this and like that, the difference, I think since you started like this, you sort of also restricted, you were conscious of the fact that you wanted to hold it back a little bit and not just jump in and throw your full energy. And I think if you'd been overly energetic while talking about managing emotions and being emotional, I think it would have not carried over as well. The audience will be like, why is she so excited when she's telling us to be emotional? I don't get it. So I think because your speech was the way it was, or the content was the way it was, I think it aligned well. Others, feel free to give your feedback. Cyril?
Sorry, I'll just quickly just add a point, Srijita. As far as I think of body language, right? Body language is extremely individual to yourself and also to the topic on which you're talking, like how Toastmaster Sai also said. I think the way to think about this would be that your body language is a weapon that you use to drive emphasis and not to convey your content. In the sense that it's a distinguishing factor which should not take away from the core, which is your content. So and the most important things about your speech are will be driven naturally through the body language that you give. So don't overthink your body language. That's all that I would like to say.
I think with that, I think we should end on this. Srijita, thank you so much for agreeing to speak so quickly after your previous speech. It was, I think, 4 or 5 days between the previous speech and today. So, yeah, it is short turnaround, but thank you so much for doing the speech. With that, let us say goodbye to each other.
I would like to take this moment to thank you for inviting me here. I think it really meant a lot because I feel this is some form of a gift that I've got for my phenomenal moderation during the panel discussion. I hope I did justice, and I hope to coming back soon to BKC Fireflies. Initially it was like butterflies, and then it became fireflies. Now I hope to keep coming back again and again. Thank you for that lovely experience.
Of course, and you've done well if you get a second invitation. And I'm telling you, your invitation is in the mail. It'll be on in your WhatsApp messages before you know it. And you're like, oh, again, these guys are calling me again. No, yeah, you were great. And again, what I said this to you personally. I'm saying this to you right now as well, and in the beginning as well, that your style is such a warm and welcoming and charming way of carrying yourself. I think that really works well. I think even Priyanka must have come, because sorry, not Priyanka, Kalpana. Kalpana must have come for that reason, because she sees that in you, that you're a warm person, and being with you will not be an upsetting experience. You're like, I don't know what this guy's gonna say. So it's not like that. I think that is your specialty, that you bring warmth and make people feel comfortable. So I think you should stick to that. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure. And
thank you.
One last time, a friendly reminder with the Small Wonder Club. Keep sending your people to us. We'll find a space for them to speak and show us their skills. Thank you very much.